You often hear me go on about stress. In my business here as a psychic, pretty well every person that walks in the door is stressed to one degree or another. Most of us are. I carry a bit of stress, everybody does. In the West, it's endemic. Everybody is stressed. Now, you can't do much about it. Well, there's lots you can do about it. You can work on yourself and you can do lots about it. It's not an overnight fix though. One of the things you could do is sell up everything or move to India and live in a compound over there for 3 years or 5 years or something, meditating or all that sort of stuff. Yes, you can do that. But guess what? I have news for you. You come back to the Western world and your stress levels will go up again. Unless, of course, you really do work on yourself. Lots of people do, and it's okay. So, there is another way. Number one is, yes, you can come along to me and I can give you a few little pointers on stress. Number two is, you can come on a retreat with me in Bali, and I'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute, and we work on stress and this sort of and many other stuff using the energy of Bali. That's fantastic. Meanwhile, what I wanted to say though is with our stress levels, there are 3 levels of states of being, okay? I actually came up with this a number of years ago. It's called the stress creativity continuum. And what happens is up the very, very top, okay, there is a state where we are overstressed. Okay, that means that we have high positive stress and high negative stress. Negative stress being the one that keeps you awake at 2:30 in the morning, positive stress being the one that makes you jump out of bed in the morning feeling terrific on a weekend especially, and race off and do stuff, you know, your stuff. If we're in this state, our intuition and specifically our creativity is kaput. It doesn't get, it just can't get through because there's our ego telling us, and our ego is there to seemingly protect us. It's telling us to do this and this and this and this and this and this and fill our life with all this stuff. Eat the wrong foods, work, do all this sort of stuff, take the kids here, you know, all that stuff. Whereas if down the other end, that's band number one, down the other end there's another band where we have low positive and low negative stress. And I'm not talking anxiety here, I'm talking stress. And this is where depression comes in. Often the top one we can be depressed too. But down here, often depression comes in. I've been in both of these, I know. And so when we're down here, there is no negative stress and no positive stress. We're just sort of bubbling along, okay? We're in a state of apathy, okay? Boredom, apathy, things like that, times like that. You know, we've all been a little bit bored times, and that's what happens. We're just sort of bubbling along. Frequently, in that sort of place, our intuition is working overtime. All these things coming, but guess what? There's no creativity because we can't get out of our own way. We need a bit of a kick up in the bum. And there's no one to kick us up the bum. So what we need to do is lift ourselves and take some action. Except for it's difficult down there because we're depressed, okay? And it's that vortex. The place to be is somewhere in between. So we're building up when we're feeling good about ourselves and we're kind of managing our stress and we're doing okay and we're building up to here. Instead of crashing though, we do something about it. We manage our stress. Okay? We manage it. And so it goes up, it might flatline for a little while, and we go, oh boy, I don't want to go in there again. And then it starts to build up again. And this is when things like creativity, especially our intuition, that creativity starts to sneak through. It's an amazing place to be in. And when we work on ourselves, that's what happens. It means our intuition starts working. We use our intuition, which is the kind of the other side of the brain to our ego space. We start to use it, and when we start to use our intuition, we click it over the other side, which is our action side, and away we go with the creativity. And that's when we have this spectacular life. Okay? So I help people here in this very place with doing psychic readings and coaching and this sort of stuff. Personal development coaching to help them. I take people to Bali to retreat so they can use their energy of Bali to really get into ourselves, to rest, get into the culture of the place, open up your heart chakra and all that sort of stuff, and really be in yourself. The really interesting thing is that once you've been over in a place like Bali, on a retreat like this, you come back and this energy stays with you. You don't go straight back into the rat race. It's a very interesting thing. If you don't work on yourself a little bit, you will drift back into the rat race. But we give you heaps and heaps of things, strategies while we're over there. So consider it. Button down the bottom, give it a press if you want to know more.